I think it'll like impact every industry that like has any sort of processes that are able to be automated, but I think it just kind of varies in, I think, how much the people in that industry are going to trust the AI. Like, for example, with like in the automotive industry, like you can have all those self-driving cars you want, but if people don't trust that and don't think that's a viable option, then like it's not going to be as big as it could be, even though that technology and that is there.
Welcome to this episode of Help Me Understand with Dr. Thomas Jeffrey. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe, and I would like to hear your comments.
I used to think that like all the AI was like self-driving cars. I think when like in high school that was like what I thought it was, and then now like as I've taken a couple business classes, kind of like looking at more like how much it really encompasses, like and how big of a field and industry it really is, and like how it can affect like certain business processes is like what I've seen a lot of, like with automation of certain tasks and stuff like that, especially in industries where you're like looking to have those like finished goods, manufacturing industry, stuff like that, and how it can affect stuff like that. So I've learned a little bit more about it, but I wouldn't say that I know a lot about it. It's kind of all like average probably. Like I can't think of anybody I know that's like what I would say like an expert, but I can definitely think of people that like I know that don't know much about it or haven't really experienced much of it, or I think people's perceptions of it kind of go along with like some more people like in my parents' generation, age like that, think that like the data component, like the collection component of it, like I think that's what my parents think of when they think of AI, is like how much data it's collecting and what information it has about you. And like my parents were ones that they don't like technology, they like to stay more away from it, like off of social media and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty common in that generation and like more past generations, but now I think my generation is like embracing it more, and just so I think kind of the education piece is really big for it. Like I think a lot of people don't really understand how it's used or what it is. I think there's kind of a misconception of that. Yeah, I think it's definitely like a concern, but like now I think I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, they already have all my information anyway, like a ton of like companies and whatever, just from your phone and like all that you do on that. So I think I'm not as concerned about it because of like that. And I know they are coming out with like more stuff to like help that, like block like the phishing and like the data piracy sites and stuff like that. But definitely a little bit concerned, like there's certain things like, yeah, I won't put this information online, or like I won't save this there, stuff like that. I know it's been like on our phones all the time, like with the like data it collects and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, Google and all that is coming out with more and more advanced stuff with like how it like analyzes stuff that you do and whatever from your laptop and your computer. And I mean, you can do just about anything with just a certain gesture or a like certain word that you couldn't before. So I am in the accounting business field, and I think that like with the manufacturing, there's a lot of certain things that are going to be replaced by AI and robots and stuff like that, especially like in a factory when they're making goods and stuff like that. And with certain things with accounting, like with putting in the numbers and stuff like that, data entry, all that, I think part of that is going to be replaced by AI, but there's the part that I don't think will be ever replaced by AI is the like the explanation of it. Like AI can do all these processes and stuff, but the clients and the people who you're doing those for, they need like an explanation of it. And I think sometimes like for example, like with people's tax returns, stuff like that, you can put in all the numbers and it can spit it out at you, but the customers still need like an explanation of like what those numbers mean and what the AI is actually like doing with those numbers, how they're using it, stuff like that. So I think there will always be room for like implementation, like jobs in the field of implementing the AI and explaining like how it's working. I think it'll like impact every industry that like has any sort of processes that are able to be automated, but I think it just kind of varies in, I think, how much the people in that industry are going to trust the AI. Like, for example, with like in the automotive industry, like you can have all those self-driving cars you want, but if people don't trust that and don't think that's a viable option, then like it's not going to be as big as it could be, even though that technology and that is there.